All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's make sure I got everything set up right. Those last words. Okay, so I got a question. Watching live is not doable for me. That's okay. It's this will be up later on. Um, you guys are so demanding. All right, so the thing was, what I would really find a really good read or video would be how to precisely dial in multiband gate with all its features on live drums to achieve maximum clarity. I get rid of as much hi-hat bleed on the snare as possible, or gating a floor tom without losing the attack in the upper mids and highs. Yeah, thank you. This is precisely what this thing is made for. And I just found out that, and I didn't know this before, that you can actually run this thing in Wave's Studio Grid Studio Rack thing in native mode. I'm not really sure how this stuff works, but apparently a lot of you guys have these Wave's Studio Grid setups, and I didn't know that you could run our stuff. I thought you couldn't, and Waves tells me that that's not the case. And so if you do have one of these Sound Grid things, I'd really like to know, because I would like to test this out in person if possible, and we'll definitely get you our stuff if you got one of these systems. But anyway, so getting to what he was asking, I'll say it again. How to precisely dial in multiband gate with all its features on live drums to achieve maximum clarity. You get rid of as much hi-hat bleed on the snare, or possibly getting floor tom without losing the attack. So live, you know, we can't do the look ahead, but that's probably okay. I recently made a video, and I really have to clean this up and do a lot more of this, but this was where is it? It's a punk band from Hawaii called Mr. Meaner, and I did a live recording of them with video. I don't think I'm going to put the video up right now, but this is about as much bleed as you're ever going to get, and it's probably worse than bleed than you're going to get live. They're in a very small room all together, and let's see what we can get out of this thing. You know, if you're easily triggered or whatever, this probably ain't the video for you. These guys are pretty raw and raunchy here. Let me just find one of these tracks. I'm gonna get rid of. I'll get rid of all the plugins that I might have on here. I'll leave the guitar ones up. Okay. Let me see what I got here. I battle negativity every single fucking day. Oh yeah, this one's not for kids, so you know, I guess I could knock out the vocals for now. You're still probably gonna hear some of the bleed and stuff. Yeah. So that's the PA system coming right into the overhead. So when you're talking about bleed, man, this is bleed. So let's check out the snare. Hopefully there's a time when he's playing by himself I can just get a snare sample. Actually, that's not so bad. Okay, so what I want to make sure is that this guy's actually slamming his hi-hat, so that we're going to get the problem. Come on, where's some hi-hat? Drummer knows how to record, so even though this is live, he's probably not going to have as much nasty hi-hat stuff. Oh, that's not bad. So this is probably a good example here. Let's see how much is actually in the snare. Boy, barely any. When I compress this, if I were to compress this, so you would really hear a lot more of that. But oh man, this might be a bad example because this guy tends to play with the hi-hat kind of far from the snare and really knows how to play in a way that records well. Even though this was meant to be, this is just them practicing live. He's actually pretty good at this. Let me see if there's a nastier bleed one. Okay, so I'll put some compression on this at the end so that the hi-hat's a lot louder. So, but for right now, actually, let me look at the bottom snare mic. Maybe it's gonna be. No, okay, sorry about that. I have another project that you can actually download from the aiXdsp website. Again, that one has a video as well. It's just a drummer playing by himself. But let's just see. Let's take a look here. So I'm going to get multiband gate up. Multi gate. Oh, and is this the newest version? No. Okay, hold on, guys. Sorry about this. We just put up another one for Black Friday, so let me pull that guy up. Shoot, let me just install it real quick. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't put it on this computer yet. Sorry. Okay, so let me just installing this. DSP installers, multiband gate. Run. Overwrite everything. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So here comes. Okay, so here comes the gate. Close off. Yeah, it's crazy how much stickiness the Helix Native causes. I really love Helix Native, and it's on kind of major sale right now. But it really is actually a little bit weird. Let's see, this is 100%. This is all going to change drastically pretty soon, so I'm going to bypass this. I'm going to put our Intuition compressor on, just to kind of force that. And again, this isn't how you would have this thing set. I'm gonna use this to exaggerate how bad the hi-hat bleed would be. So. Oh man, it's gonna make the ring worse too, though. But yeah, I'll deal with that in a second. So here's multiband gate, and let's just look at where the hi-hat would be hanging out here. So I'm gonna make this a little bit wider to make it even more obvious. So I'm gonna solo this high band, and I'm gonna take the gate off. So pretty much the hi-hats from here on, right? That's where the trouble's gonna be. But you know, if I cut it off too early, you know, then we get like, that's the problem with the normal gate, right? Like you're just getting like you have to, the point of multiband gate is, you know, before you had to make a choice. Do you want a short craptastic sound, or do you want to deal with bleed? And so in this case, I'm going to make it so I'm going to have as much as I want of that snap, which is very short. I mean, I'm talking, I usually have like 25, 50 milliseconds of that or whatever. Live, probably even less. But you know, the lows you still want to go, so you don't really lose that thump of that snare. So let's go. You know, if it wasn't live, you could dial in some look ahead and you get even more snap out of it. But I'm going to set the attack to 0. Now, this is an actual 0 attack. Most of the time when they say 0, it's not. But in our case, it is, which means that it can accidentally click if you're not careful, and you'll hear that in the lows much more than the highs. But I actually use that click as part of the sound. If you don't like it, set it to like 0.1 milliseconds or whatever. But I'm going to have that thing open immediately. So I'm going to loop a section here. Okay. I'm going to set this so that it's going to open on all my snare hits. And here it's just gross the way that it closes. So I'm going to set a little bit of hold. And I mean, I'm talking short, you know. I don't need much. And I'm going to do a little trick here. This is thanks to one of our users that said, hey, if you put a transient shaper in the side chain, you can really affect the way that this thing hears. So I just really want a little snap. So if I take this out, so this is this little transient controller thing that's in just the detector. And so let's see how this works. Should be giving it a much cleaner signal. So I got the snap that I want, but I don't have that hi-hat trouble. So let me unsolo this. So I'm going to look at the rest of this signal here. And I definitely don't want all of this, but let's I'm going to want some. Now, this is where you get down to this traditional argument of, do you want to hold the thing open as long as possible to get all the natural sound through and then shut it as quick as possible when you're done with that sound? Or do you want to actually create a kind of a new shape for it? And I kind of like a mix of both. So I'm actually going to have pretty long of a time comparatively. Let's just start with like 125-ish milliseconds. And this band is really not here. Let me knock this down a little bit. This band is not really going to pick up much hi-hat. So if I solo this band, even if I left this thing open, nobody's going to die. But we can get a little bit of a tighter sound if we actually use it. So let's look where the resonant frequency of the snare is. Bypass the gate for a second. So this snare, it's right around here. So I'm going to make that for the lows. So the mids is really just going to be this little section here. And it's not a section that's really affected by the hi-hat anyway. So I could make this a lot longer and nobody's going to die. I mean, it's a little bit weird with that vocal bleeding through. But it's okay. And for me, the real beauty here, it's going to be this low band. I could just leave this thing on forever. Like, look at this, 200 millisecond hold and a 550 millisecond release. There's really nothing to hurt here. I could just put a high pass filter on here. But to me, this is the meat of the snare. And there is a bass guitar kind of leaking in here. So if I really wanted maybe a little bit longer of an opening, But see, this is never closing, right? At this speed, the drummer's playing it anyway. And so now if I hammered this thing, we shouldn't have too much trouble with the hi-hat. I mean, I'm getting none, actually. So let's set this a little bit more sane. And I know this is not the smartest thing to just sit here and not listen to it in context either, so I'll be taking this off in a second. And look at this. I mean, we're hammering the hell out of this thing right now. Don't need to. You know. Let's do it. Let's make it even worse so that any hi-hat problem would really come and stick out here. And let me just put this back in. Okay, now I love Audio Assault, so I'm gonna put Audio Assault's Exciter on here, and this is absolutely, if you got a hi-hat making trouble, this plugin will make your life absolute hell. All you're gonna hear is a horrible spitty hi-hat. But if you get rid of the hi-hat, let's see what happens. So let me try this again. kick really needs help. So I think this thing was too close to the head. You look without doing so much craziness in here. That is drastic, right? Just make it tilt real quick. Yeah, this mic is too close to the head. So I'm going to try and have this trigger on the beater right here, and let's see if that'll even work at all, because this is there's barely, like I said, this is way too close to the head, but there should be some, like, even if the mic's distorting, it should actually give us some information up here a little bit. And then with the transient shaper onto the detector, put all the attack and take all the sustain down, we should be getting something. Well, it's not much, is it? Wow, that is so little. But much better signal for that, isn't that? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I might have put it too close to snare frequency. Well, there's some weirdness going on in here. Oh. Channeling Mike Muir there. And you guys know toms are the worst when it comes to these cymbals and stuff. So, and that's really why this thing was created. So let's see what we can do on these toms here. Ooh. It's not the cleanest tom fill right here, but I'm just trying to make the lows last long enough while you know, still getting the snap of the highs here. Never mind that stick click, which isn't helping matters at all. Let me see if there's another tom. I don't use the toms very much. Ooh. I'm not making it. Probably just do this now. Just really find like where that thump is to your tom. Just go this. I'm gonna loop this spot right here. And this area between the stick click and the actual meat of the tom, I'm probably need to take this down a little bit more. And you know, this is not really an EQ, but it can get you there so quick. So I can let that one last for a long time and I'll make it a lot more convincing, right? gonna cut this up. I might use a different. I've got some more test tracks to do with this, but I mean, this is about as much bleed as you're ever gonna deal with. But unfortunately, the drummer was actually doing a real good job with the hi-hat to not make trouble. So we'll see. I'll cut this one up and put it out, but I think I might be doing something with another demo track. We'll see. I'll take off. I'll see you guys later. Happy Thanksgiving for those of you that are having some Thanksgiving. And go try our stuff out if you haven't tried it out. Just got word from our web guy that he just made the demos easier